Okay, so here are 7 cars that I've seen this year, and you want to stick around for the last one because it is so well known in the car scene. I was actually pretty privileged to get to see it. So I'm going to rate these out of 10, and I'm going to let you know what I loved, didn't quite like, and what I think could be better about all of these cars. I've been super fortunate to see cars across the UK this year, including some pretty epic ones on show at various events. And I'm actually going to rate and highlight those cars today. So let me know in the comments if you think I'm being way too lenient or if actually you don't like the cars. Plus, are there any that have been a real highlight and standout for you this year? So my first one is the BMW Speedtop, and I've rated this an 8 out of 10. The reason I have is because, number one, I'm super biased towards BMW, so that's it. There's nothing else needed to be said about that. But also, I really love the premium aspect of the Speedtop. It's got some pretty beautiful BMW legacy within it, such as the Shark nose, and it looks super similar to the 8 Series in my opinion. But I think that's a little bit part of the downfall. So the car itself is actually quite expensive. It's got a hefty price tag on it. And for a low volume vehicle as well, it's a limited edition model. But I think where you've got a similar vehicle to the 8 Series and obviously the BMW individual range, you can obviously add what you need to your car and customize it, which you probably could do for a similar price tag. However, I do love the interior of the BMW Speedtop and the colour that I saw it in at Goodwood. In fact, I feel like all the elements in the design combine really beautifully to symbolise BMW. Now, number 2 is the silence. And if you have absolutely no idea what I'm talking about, fair point. So I rate the silence a 4 out of 10, but this is a really quirky and standout car. So one highlight for me is that I actually saw this car at Everything Electric, which is a show that highlights EVs, sustainability, and renewable energy. Now, one of the really humorous things for me is they put the silence in front of the smart cars, the newer versions of them. And if you remember the smart car from the early 2000s, we're looking about that kind of size to the silence, which is why my rating is a bit low. However, its quirky design reminds me a little bit of like a quad bike mixed with a mobility scooter mixed with a smart car. And although it doesn't look like there's a huge amount of space within the vehicle, it's probably really fun to drive. I haven't been able to sit behind the wheel. That rating may boost. Number 3 is the BYD Shark. And again, I saw this model at Everything Electric. I give this car a 5 out of 10, and I've got some really good reasons why. First of all, it does look stunning, and the name of the Shark, obviously BYD name a lot of their cars after ocean creatures, and you can see with the Shark just how aggressive and assertive it is. But when you walk around certain components of the car, aspects of it just feel a little bit clunky to me, and there also begs the question of the size of it. So it would probably be perfect on American and European roads, but I do question its usability within the UK and British roads, particularly when you look at parking spaces or like quite small country lanes. And of course, there's ways around it, but those were my first questions for the BYD Shark. But again, a real stunner when you look at it. Number 4, of course, I had to talk about this car, is the Toyota GR Yaris. And it will be no surprise, it's a 10 out of 10 for me. So as a Yaris driver anyway, this car is like the absolute symbol of hatchback sportiness, and I love it. So the Yaris GR is a really, really compelling, exciting hatchback. It obviously is much more sportier compared to the Yaris GR Sport, which is just the GR trim on the Yaris. But it's 3-door design, it's like quite punchy engine, and it's super sporty exterior, just chef's kiss, honestly, amazing. And they just look and sound amazing. So number 5 for me, again, another 10 out of 10, is the Lotus Evija, which comes in at a 200 brake horsepower and it will cost you over 2 million to own, which is its slight downside. But the Evija just is stunning. It's all electric, and a lot of people question how on earth a car that looks just so mean, assertive, aggressive can actually pack that much power. But it lives up to its name, and it has had amazing reviews. The version I saw again at Goodwood was a limited edition, I believe. So it had this beautiful gold detailing all the way around the car. And you just look at those gold wing doors that just, oh, honestly, chef's kiss Lotus, because I'm lost for words. Okay, number 6, and a car I have talked about so much on this channel, is the C1 Chevrolet Corvette. And I give this one an 8 out of 10. Now, obviously, for me, I love an American classic, and the C1 Chevrolet Corvette hits so much. I love its Le Mans legacy. I love its motor racing history. I love the fact that the C1 was Chevrolet's first sports car, and it just has an iconic history. You have to look it up. On the version I saw at the British Motor Show was red, white and chrome. It was just absolutely stunning, and I believe I saw it again at Brooklyn's American Day as well. And for me, the C1 Chevrolet Corvette is just phenomenal. But the parts that let it down for me a little bit is obviously just, it's such a stunner. How often could you drive it? How often could you take it out? And actually, for me, there are just a couple of American classics that just slightly overtake it for me. But this one has to get a special mention because every time I see it, it makes me smile. And number 7, the one you've been waiting for, the Meowdi. So this isn't a make or model at all. This is someone's project where they've taken their Audi and turned it into a cat. And I've given this one a 9 out of 10. The only reason I have is because I don't understand how it looks in the rain and how it actually fares when it needs to be washed, because it is obviously coated, I think, in some kind of felt or carpety kind of material. But I just love the cause behind the Meowdi, and I'll link their socials below so you can take a look. But it's basically used to help raise money for charity and make people smile. The Meowdi makes me smile every time I see it. And I just love the fact that someone went out there and turned their Audi into a Meowdi. So those were my 7 cars that I saw this year that I thought were worthy of note, really interesting, and have something about them. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And if you want to follow along for more content like this, car reviews or general tomfoolery, then hit that subscribe button. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video.